Favorite music videos from acclaimed movie directors. Why we're doing this? Well, we had the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie that we just reviewed, but also next week comes Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. Martin Scorsese, known for many different films, obviously, the greatest director of all time, disputably, but probably not very disputably. He also is notably the director of a Michael Jackson video. So we thought we would combine the two and have a little fun list created. So, Ricky Flicks, I think we should just go one for one here, and we can list some of our favorite music videos from these directors. So, did you have any patterns in your research? What kind of takeaways did you have when you were surfing the web?
Yeah, so first and foremost, like I do in most lists, I write down the first thing that comes to mind. Before I even do any research, I write down some music videos that I knew were directed by some of my favorite, or by movie directors, let alone some of them being my favorites. So Fincher, Scorsese is on there, of course, and others. But after that, then you dive in the weeds of some of the best music videos, and some of them are just naturally by movie directors. And I think after that, you get in the weeds and then you figure some stuff out. But I think most of all, it's just, what are my favorite? For me, like, music videos are really open-ended, opinionated. Like, you could like it, really, it's hit or miss with a lot of audiences. For me, like, there's some that are very highly acclaimed and I just do not mess with. And then there's others that some people hate, which we'll probably talk about today, but I think they're hilarious and I love them. So overall, like, yeah, the research had to go in the weeds, watched way too many music videos, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun.
Yes, a lot of fun. I think where the direction I took is that I just thought of what are my favorite music videos, and I looked them up and I saw if like they were directed by some of my favorite filmmakers, and some of them just so happened were, and I was shocked to see some of the results. And we already know like Spike Jonze and David Fincher, and we know Scorsese with Michael Jackson, but like I was surprised to see in PTA as well. I was surprised with some of the other results here. And something I also noticed is that a lot of times when you have an acclaimed movie director directing an artist in a music video, it's usually for a lesser known song. Like it's not like the artist's most prominent release. And why do you think that is, Ricky Flex? Why do you have like Spike Jonze doing Fatboy Slim Weapon of Choice? Like, why would he choose that one aside like from another? I know he does Praise You, which is also an incredible music video, but like, why do you typically see like Edgar Wright doing random English bands songs rather than more notable works?
Yeah, I think for like those, like, there's just connections, like Edgar Wright being from there and has a connection. Like, I think that helps. Same, I think a lot of people just have relationships and connections, which gets them these gigs, right? Or they say, hey, yeah, I'll spend a little bit of time doing this music video. It's not like a film where you have to take months to years off your life. You know, it's a music video. It's a lot shorter, a lot quicker. You have a lot more help, etc. So I think that's a part of it. And also, you'll see, like, for a lot of these, it's either the beginning of their careers, like these movie directors, it's before they even make a feature film. So it's how they get more notice. Like, you'll see a lot of, if we did a commercials, like a lot of these people did commercials before they did any movies, even before music videos. That's just how you get noticed. And it's similar to like acting. You start doing commercials, or you start being a background in some movie or a CSI or whatever, right? It's the same thing in directing or whatever area of the industry you're in. So I think it's either the connections or you're really just trying to come up with the scene, or you have nothing else to do and you just want to do a favor to somebody.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I also think you have, like, even when Spike Jonze is making films, he's continuing to make music videos. And I find that interesting. Paul Thomas Anderson has made some of the greatest films of the past 30 years, yet he still directs high music videos. And I think it's partially because they just have a passion towards making music videos. It helped put them on the scene. But also, I think with it takes lesser time to actually make a music video, and you could be a little bit more experimental, and people are going to be more open to receiving your work if it's a music video, less critical, right? Less time consumed to make this product, and then it just has a different level of criticism, I think, to it. Do you think there's any truth to that?
Yeah, I think so because again, it goes back to what I was saying before about music videos in general. They're just open ended. Like it's you can
Yeah.
love them or hate them, and like obviously you have like your ones that will talk about some of them, and then others that are just you definitely know that are like wow, those are all time iconic music videos. But then you'll have other like music videos that maybe they're in that conversation, but they also could be in the conversation of wow, those sucked compared to the rest of the decade. And MTV will talk about them, and well, not as much anymore, but like when MTV was big. So I think that's just a huge part of it that makes it kind of easier to get like creative freedom here for these directors.
100%. With that being said, Ricky Flex, do you want to lead us off with our first video?
Okay. Um. Yes. Where do I want to start here? Do we want to start like heavy hitter or like kind of just like get us grounded a little bit?
Let's start with a heavy hitter.
Okay. Easy. Arguably the greatest music video of all time, Thriller.
Yes.
Yeah, 1983. John Landis, Animal House, Blues Brothers, Trading Places, like directed all those movies, and then out of nowhere, just does this Michael Jackson all-time iconic music video, and it has a story arc inside this video. It has the iconic jacket, the dance. We're also in spooky season right now. Definitely was. I thought of this one right away, without a doubt. And it's just interesting from a John Landis, who again, those movies I mentioned, Kentucky Fried Movie being another one, comedies, a lot of comedies. So it transitions to this more like storytelling type of music video with zombies and I don't know, and like dancing choreography. Very interesting. Also, Blues Brothers involved there, but obviously not to the effect of this. Just very impressive. And I remember seeing this for the first time on MTV, best music videos of all time. And like when all the zombies just start dancing rather than walking slowly, it's
Oh
so
yeah.
sharp, it's so precise. It's just incredible. And like it's silent. You just hear the dun dun and the beat, and it's all the focus on the footwork and the choreography. Remarkable. Like for me, this was easily the first name I put down, the heaviest hitter that I could think of.
Yeah, it's the greatest music video of all time, Ricky Flicks. And like this is one I thought of. I didn't know until Friday night that this was directed by John Landis. And you mentioned a bunch of the comedies that he had done. He's like a blockbuster comedy director, but also 1981 he directed American Werewolf in London, which is like a Spooktober cult classic, and that lines up with really well with the 1984 Thriller.
He did Twilight
Um,
Zone movie too, I think, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so he is a big name at the time. Michael Jackson, the biggest performer in the world. Um, to me, I loved doing the research here and rewatching these videos. I remember when Michael Jackson passed away a long time ago now, like 15 years ago. The VH1 Classic just did a run all summer of Michael Jackson videos. And whenever Thriller came on, I was watching it for 14 minutes. And that's something that you can't find in music videos today. Aside from Taylor Swift, when she releases the All Too Well video that's 10 minutes long, Michael Jackson
Mm.
was committed to making short films with his music videos, tell an entire story. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. He's not the greatest actor, but he's truly a visionary, 100% a visionary. And you're
Can't
right.
deny
Yeah.
it.
And the production value talked about it with the zombies when Michael Jackson turns into the green zombie, and even the choreography turns and almost does like a it's like 50% speed on Michael Jackson moves and crotch grabs and like toe stepping. I'm like, wow, like it's magic. It's my favorite part of the video when he turns green and he starts dancing in front of his girlfriend. Um, just iconic, iconic, iconic. And you're right. It's sometimes they are willing to just embrace the dancing of it all, not just okay, the lyrics and the song. It's almost like the lyrics of that song come afterwards. No one cares about the lyrics. It's all about the tone that it sets, and it's become the definitive Spooktober song, the definitive Halloween. It's the lead. It's the lead off hitter in the Halloween playlist for the party. You know.
Yeah, and again, like it has all the Michael Jackson does all the moves, has great background dancers, but again, it created a new like dance too with the thing and down down. If you're watching the YouTube, like like so, it's just
And everyone
It
can
literally is
do
the
it. Everyone can do that. Not everyone can do it like Michael Jackson move, but everyone can put their hands up like this, you know? They can put it up and like, I'm scared. Ah.
it's basically a perfect music video if you're going for like that length. And again, like 14 minutes, like long ass music video, but it keeps you there. You know, I watched the entire thing in preparation for this, and I watched the whole 14 minutes, even though I've seen this video 1,000 times.
No, that's a great pick, Ricky Flicks. Way to lead us off. Production value insane. $500,000 at that time, like actual money spent on that music video. Iconic. So I want to go next, and I want to go to another. It's an iconic band, and it's a heavy hitter in terms of direction of music videos. Someone that was definitely a huge name in the late '90s, early 2000s as a director. But his music videos. I want to go to Spike Jonze, and I want to argue that Spike Jonze is a better music video director than actual film director. And that's crazy because Spike Jonze has directed Adaptation. He's done Being John Malkovich. He's done Her, like really heavy hitters that have done well even at the Oscars. But his diversity and his experimental style for music videos is kind of unmatched, and the collection of artists he's worked with. And I want to talk about Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, just because it's a fun conversation and it's a fun as hell music video, right? It goes perfectly with like the Beastie Boys style, where it's fun, energetic, and wild. Like their type of music, it's like between like metal and rap. There's undercover cops in their own world, basically causing mayhem and just being terrible at their job. But I thought it's also contributed to like it's like the music video itself contributes to how it's needle drops. It's one of the most frequently used needle drops in movies, especially in blockbuster movies. And a lot of it has to do with like uh anarchy, and it has to do with like an explosive action sequence. I think it goes hand in hand with what the video displays. But I wanted to throw Sabotage as the second one on the list here.
Spike Jonze, as a music video director, he's probably the best. He has the best filmography out of all the names we're going to mention today. Right? Like, I know there's going to be other big ones who have probably top end, like a lot of heavy stuff at the top end. But if you go top to bottom and just the amount of things he's directed and the artists he's worked with and the uniqueness of it and how special they are, he's got to be in the conversation. It's unbelievable. I think Sabotage as well. Just like, again, Spike Jonze, you think of his movies, Her, it's AI, falls in love with AI. Being John Malkovich, like John Cusack becoming John Malkovich through like his eyes, like weird movies. Same with music videos. This one is no different. Like these 70s cops, you have the Hawaii Five-O beginning, like very, very, very
The
unique
title
guy.
card, like
Yeah. He has definitely one of the most unique minds in Hollywood, and definitely from a music video standpoint. Because I have a couple others who from his that I think we'll mention.
Why don't you just go to your next Spike Jonze video? I have at least two more as well, but I want to hear from you.
Okay, well, definitely we got to mention Fatboy Slim, Weapon of Choice, 2001, and let me tell you how good this music video is. Again, Spike Jonze. I cannot tell you like the song, like tell you how it goes, and I just watched it this morning. All I can tell you is that I just think of Christopher Walken and how crazy he is dancing through this hotel lobby and in the air, and it's outrageous. Like I literally cannot tell you the song. That's how good this music video is, even though it doesn't do its purpose of, hey, actually listen to the song. But the fact that they got Christopher Walken, again, 2001, at the time, like still very well regarded and on the older side, but he's just putting on dance moves with Spike Jonze. It's for this, again, Fatboy Slim. This isn't for like the Beastie Boys, right? Fatboy Slim. It's outrageous to me. So I think we had to mention this one.
This is wild. Fatboy Slim is like a late 90s, early 2000s DJ. Well known, but not well known enough to get Christopher Walken starring in your music video. That is nuts to me. And he is an Oscar winner, Christopher Walken. And it just makes minimal sense. But it's amazing because with Fatboy Slim being a DJ, there's minimal words and lyrics to this song. And so you just let Christopher Walken just basically improvise. Do whatever the hell you want in an empty hotel. You have free reign. We're going to make you fly. We're going to put you inside a painting. We're going to do some weird as hell crap. And it all works because Christopher Walken is at the center of it. Nothing is shocking to an audience when they see Christopher Walken do it, you know? And that's kind of what makes the video so spectacular. And it's just like that idea of Spike Jonze just saying, it's kind of an open canvas, you know, what he's laying out there for Christopher Walken, and he's just going to piece it together and make it work. And there's like some special charm to that video too, because there's some clear stunt double work, but it's intentional. They want to let you know it's not actually Christopher Walken doing it, but that just goes hand in hand, I think, with the video. And it's like, it's how ludicrous it is and its absurdity.
Right, exactly. And yeah, like this one won like best. I think all the ones we'll talk about, I think all have won like best music video of the year at the Grammys. Probably most of these that we'll talk about today. But still, like Spike Jonze, unique mind again, just like how this even came to be, just like it's so odd. It's just so odd, and that's so perfect for Spike Jonze and now Christopher Walken as we know him in the 21st century to kind of kickstart the last third of his career.
And also, how you know it's a great music video, it's because it's more remembered for the music video than the song, you know? And that's what I was trying to measure each time I chose this. I'm like, okay, what's better, music video or song? Like Thriller, I was like, better video than song, but not a bad song, you know? And I think we should just continue to do that. And like for the rest of these. But I just want to finish this trilogy of Spike Jonze, if you don't mind. And this is probably my second favorite video that we've mentioned aside from Thriller, right? This is number 2. Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly by Weezer, also directed by Spike Jonze. The trilogy on our list here. This is creative. It's nostalgia based, 1950s setting inside of a Happy Days episode. The editing would be a lot cleaner if it was made in 2023, but for the time period, pretty damn good. And it captures the aesthetic of the 1950s in that diner on Happy Days perfectly. You have cameos from Ron Howard as Richie. You got the Fonz with Henry Winkler, and you got like the band totally buying into the concept, wearing like the mustard yellow shirt and tie. It just it has the intro as well with Happy Days, and they even have lines that are incorporated from the show. It was a perfect way to capture that nostalgia at the time. The obsession with like I guess at the time it was a 90s video obsessed with the 70s, which was a TV show, Happy Days, that was about the 50s. You know, it just has a little bit of inception there, but this is also a banger of a song. It really, I think it's a better video than actual song as well.
I do like the song, but you're right.
It's a great
Again,
song.
1994, I think, right? So you're right. It's so impressive what they did here, interweaving, the Happy Days footage here with this Arnold's Drive-In replica set, you know, uh, and still keeping that feel of the show. Very cool, very pop culture, mixed with historical relevance. Now it's like how if you had to ask like what's the high school down, maybe even college, if they even know what Happy Days are like was like what's the percentage of kids that would know that,
Minimal.
teenagers down, like less than 10%, like crazy. And again, this music video is already I'm like 20 30 years old.
Right.
That's insane. So the people that like might be hearing this and say like, "What the hell is Happy Days?" Like iconic TV show, and at the time, like 1994, probably like 20 years past Happy Days peak. Um, probably the proper time. Like enough time has passed, and still like cool in a pop culture sense to bring it back for this music video with Weezer, who's on the up, being one of the best alternative rock bands in the country at that time. So pretty cool. Spike Jonze again, awesome.
The attention to detail is just incredible. If you played this music video and put it on mute, you would think it's from the 1950s. Like it's that accurate in capturing the aesthetic. Like seeing the Fonz break it down in the middle of the dance floor. Also, it's just like, oh yeah, that's what we're talking about, you know. And yeah, I don't know. It's just incredible work, Ricky Flicks. It's goofy, you know. It's just a goofy music video, but in a charming way. It's number 2 for me. But yes, what do we got next, Ricky Flicks?
Speaking of goofy, I'll go off the beaten path here. Not as much of a heavy hitter, but I do love this song as a heavy hitter. 1997's Daft Punk "Around the World." Uh, Literally just around the world,
Who
around.
directed it? I didn't even know.
Michael Gondry, the guy Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh wow.
So obviously, you think of that movie, weird movie, very goofy as well. Again, Spike Jonze-esque type of movie, I would say. And again, who wrote that movie? Who gets really more credit for that movie? Also won an Oscar for it. Charlie Kaufman. What did he write? Being John Malkovich, Spike Jonze movie. So makes sense why this music video is just off the rails right from the start. There's only 3 words in the whole song, really. Daft Punk, late 90s, very odd. Just a bunch of random characters, like random people dressed up in very random things. You could be robots, you could be things you don't even know what they are, animals, very weird. Just one set, very small, and literally just going in a circle. All these random costumes, weird set design, but iconic at the same time. And this is one of those where it's like you could hate the song or you love the song because it's so like bland, but it's so catchy. But also the music video. It's so weird you might hate it, but at the same time, you might just watch it long enough and you might love it. So this is a definitely hit or miss one that I was talking about at the beginning. But Michael Gondry definitely doesn't get enough credit. Thought I'd mention his name on this list.
Great song. I've never seen the music video.
Very weird.
Yeah, and Michael Gondry is one of those '90s guys that is alongside like PTA, Fincher's like '80s and '90s, but also Spike Jonze that we just talked about that consistently is appearing on these lists and on these greatest music videos. It just seems, and I'm not surprised, like he has a connection to Spike Jonze, and just because the music industry, right? It just seems like they probably all know each other and they work with the same artists, and they just have that type of connection. Cool. I also want to go off the beaten path, Ricky Flex, and I want to talk about an Edgar Wright music video. This is called The Blue Song by a band called Mint Royale, British band, of course. And what I like about it, this actually inspires one of Edgar Wright's films. Do you hear about this, Ricky Flex? Do you know anything about this music video?
I briefly watched for the first time in my life this morning. That's it.
So this music video inspires Baby Driver, dude.
Makes sense. Yeah.
2002 music video. It's a heist that this band pulls up to, and Nick Frost makes an appearance in the back seat, of course, because it's Edgar Wright. Nick Frost is going to be here. No Simon Pegg, but the lead singer says you have 2 minutes and 54 seconds and puts in a CD, and he has to basically watch the car like Baby Driver, and then he takes off when the guys come back from the heist. So he's just jamming in the car, dancing, and then he gets like confronted by security and things like that, has to navigate around the situation. But this whole concept of Baby Driver starts with this Mint Royale song. And it was actually J.J. Abrams brought up the concept to Edgar Wright, like, you got to make a movie about this. And then 2017, we get this absolute banger from Edgar Wright that derives from this this music video. The song also fire. The song is so good, and I had never heard of it. I just heard of the music video. I gave it a watch. I listened to the song. I'm like, wow. And Edgar Wright kind of has like a unique pinpoint on like on music and what is effective, and for especially for his movies. And like Baby Driver's so good, is that like he'll choose the beat of a song that matches like the action sequence that's happening. I think that's also inspired by this music video. But like Bell Bottoms is like the one I think about in Baby Driver. It's a song I never heard of, but it's one I wanted to listen to on repeat. And it seemed like it meshed so well with the visuals and action sequences of an Edgar Wright movie. But I had to include it just because Baby Driver is one of my favorite movies the last like 10 years, bro. And it was so refreshing compared to like a lot of the IP stuff and franchise stuff that we've seen. And it's Edgar Wright. It's derived all from this. So I have to include it on the list.
Yeah, Edgar Wright. I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I was being stupid, I guess, this morning. Yeah, this is a good pick. I just watched it for the first time this morning, so I didn't really have a good affinity to it. So I didn't want to call it out. So I'm glad you did. I love this pick.
And Edgar Wright has done other music videos for like major artists. He's done music videos for Pharrell and Beck, which is wild. And recent history for Beck too. I think it was Colors for Beck. But it's just to me, it's crazy when you have filmmakers well known like Edgar Wright and like a guy like PTA who's going to make our list sooner rather than later that are making music videos like 2019, right? 2017, 2015, just because they love the craft. They love doing it. And we talked about like the draw of it for these iconic names. But Ricky Flex, what's next on your list?
Um, God, before I think I'll end with a heavy hitter. So we have four left, so two each. I'll end with a heavy hitter. So I'll start. So for my second to last one, I'll go one that has over 1 billion views on YouTube. Is
Oh
used a
my.
lot on X. Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up." I do not like this music video, but I cannot deny how funny it is. It's literally just Rick Astley going around random spots. I can't even tell you what city it is, but he's at a basketball court, he's at a barbershop, he's in the middle of the street, random ass spots, just singing, I'm gonna tell you what I'm feeling. And just in the dorkiest 80s outfit. And people are just staring at him like, what the hell are you doing? Like, there's one part in the first minute where like there's a bartender just cleaning glasses. It's like, what the hell is this dork doing? So hilarious music video, over 1 billion views on YouTube. I had to mention it.
Directed by
Director
who?
Simon West. So he did Con Air, Tomb Raider, so late 90s, 2000s. So obviously started out here in the music industry, transitioned over, but he actually had a hilarious quote I had to say. About this video. Simon West said that this video haunts him like a bad pull, like basically just haunts him, right? And he hates how like the Rick rolling thing, which is obviously like a part of the YouTube relevance here. Just hilarious video. I'm sure you guys know it if you if you saw it. Quick Google, you definitely seen this before. Just wanted to mention this one as well.
That's like a pattern with a lot of these music videos, how iconic they are and like how they've lived this to this next generation through memes and through gifs. And you have obviously the famous cuts to the "Never Gonna Give You Up," like random for Twitter videos and on Instagram and TikToks, and the iconic dance from Rick Astley, the goofiness of him. It's just something very hilarious about that. I don't even know if it's that special of a video, but it's lived on for so long because of its goofiness. And then you also have like Christopher Walken dancing is probably one of the most searched Christopher Walken gifts of all time. And it's from a lesser known Fatboy Slim song. Michael Jackson eating popcorn in a movie theater is one of the most used gifs and memes in history. It's like the ones that we have on this list, they have like a lasting legacy on the internet.
Yeah, definitely. I just 1 billion views is 1 billion views. There's no denying it. No matter how bad this video is, 1 billion views just has to be mentioned in this list, I think.
I feel like it's been within the last like 5-10 years though. It's had a resurgence. It wasn't like that song was being played throughout our childhood, in the late 2000s, early 2010s. It seemed like with the advancement of social media, it's had a re-explosion.
Yeah, I would agree. An acceleration, a real explosion. I like that.
So, what was it? Two? I get two, right? I have two left before we get to 10.
Yeah, I
Um,
got one more. You get two more.
okay, I'll save a lesser known one for later. I think we got to talk about partially why we started talking about this list, and it's because of Martin Scorsese, and he directed a Michael Jackson video in 1987. He directed Bad, an 18-minute video, 4 minutes longer than 1984's Thriller, directed by John Landis. We mentioned it previously. This is so cool because it's like icon meets icon. It's the most prominent film director known to man and the most prominent pop star. And they are meeting together to create a piece of art. And this is also, we talk about these type of music videos, these 18-minute music videos could never be made today. It was a very specific time. Short form dominates now. Like Taylor Swift is a different type of phenomenon, right? With the 10-minute all too well. But here, everyone wants an 18-minute Martin Scorsese short film. All right. There's a demand for it for sure. And it goes with like also, we haven't even brought up like the MTV of it all. especially after Thriller. That's why Thriller also explodes, but also having a Martin Scorsese video on MTV regularly. Oh my God, what a time to be alive. But it's also got Wesley Snipes in this. It tells a complete story. It talks about this kid who is at a private school. It comes from a tough neighborhood, goes back during the summer, and basically has to rejoin this gang, doesn't want to. This music video, the dancing's great, obviously. Choreography on point. The story matches like a Martin Scorsese, where it's like this guy wants to leave this gang life, right? This one's a little bit more urbanized as compared to like his gangster type of stories you see with like Goodfellas or Irishman and whatnot. But it matches like what Scorsese might be comfortable with. The only thing that holds his music video back is actually just Michael Jackson himself. Because you don't buy him as a guy who's a part of a gang. It really doesn't work. Wesley Snipes is perfect. I think his name is Minimax in the video, the leader of the gang that Michael Jackson is like trying to stray away from. But Michael Jackson just trying to put on a hood and be a tough guy, and with the femininity that he like portrays, it's like, dude, like he's just not a good actor here. It just doesn't work, and it kind of ruins the video. Honestly, did you rewatch this one, Ricky Flex?
Yeah. So it's Martin Scorsese, so we had to bring it up at some point.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll talk about it more this next week for Coast of the Fire Moon, but maybe the greatest incorporator of music in movies in history. And he's produced or directed a bunch of documentaries. The Last Waltz with the Band, the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, George Harrison, on and on. So like clearly like huge music mind. And then the 80s, like again, this was only shot in 6 weeks. Right? 18-minute long video shot in 6 weeks. That's a long time, but like still not a long time compared to a movie or a TV show. I think for me, what holds us back is what you said, MJ, but also to kind of add something else. This might be a hot take, but I don't really like the song.
Ooh, I like the song. I think I like the song better than the video, to be honest. That might be a hot take.
Well, yeah, that might be a hot take too. But like the video, like it's iconic because like Wesley Snipes, inspiration from West Side Story, still great dancing. And like I just think it's more known because it's the meeting of the minds of like the best at their craft. The greatest pop star ever, Michael Jackson. The greatest movie director, Martin Scorsese. Boom. Right? That's what I think about this video. I don't necessarily think of it as a like, holy crap, Michael Jackson music video. I more think of it as like the collaboration because Michael Jackson has a lot better music videos than this, in my opinion. And Martin Scorsese has better, not just movies, but a lot better movie documentaries / clips or productions than this as well. That's why like I kind of like this is in the back burner for me. But we had to mention it.
Yeah, it's just like the concept and it on paper sounds great, but then when you watch it being executed, you're like, maybe it's not what we were anticipating that was going to be cooked here. Nice little cameo from Martin Scorsese too, with him on the Wanted poster that gets stripped down. That's kind of shows you how big
cameos.
That shows you how big of a deal it was to have like him make like his literal picture on the wall in a Michael Jackson video. It's like we have to like once again remind you, Martin Scorsese is like rolling the camera around here. I also think this video is hilarious when it's like Michael Jackson saying, "I'm the bad man" in front of Wesley Snipes, and then he breaks into dance in front of him, and Wesley Snipes is supposed to be impressed by it, like, "Oh, don't mess with this guy! Don't mess with this guy! He might dance you to death." And I think to me, that is it's absurd, and I get it. It's super ambitious, but just kind of just funny, just funny when you really think about it. Okay, your last one, Ricky Flex.
Okay, we haven't brought this man up either, and he might be the best at music videos with Spike Jonze. David Fincher. We haven't picked a David Fincher one yet, right? So I think we have to pick one here. There's an obvious one in my opinion that is still on the board, but I don't know. Do you want to take that last, or do we want to pick two, or are you going to pick someone off the beaten path?
No, we each get a bonus. We each get a bonus. Like I have two Fincher ones here.
Okay. Obviously David Fincher known for like psychological thrillers. He got Seven, Fight Club, Gone Girl, and then he has like The Social Network, Mank recently, The Killer coming out later this year. But obviously music videos, something he is amazing at. Much bigger filmography related to music videos. Huge passion for him. And I think the one that you think of for me is Madonna's Vogue in 1990. Yes, he's done a bunch of other iconic ones, but for me, I think just right after MJ, bad, like Madonna, her huge world tour was happening right around that same time, and then Vogue, this music video comes out in 1990, and was just hit MTV like freaking like going 1,000 miles an hour, and it was like kind of the first time where like something where it's like, is this acceptable really? And usually, like, if you have to ask that question in 1990 or earlier, it's like, then it's not going to be successful. But no, it's Madonna. It's going to be successful commercially. And the way that Fincher shot this with the black and white, the classic film feel of like the Marilyn Monroe with Madonna and her like striking the pose, iconic line to start off this video, amazing video. So for me, like, when I think of Fincher music videos, there's a lot to pick from, but I feel like we have to mention Madonna for music videos and David Fincher specifically.
Yeah, so Fincher has done over 50 music videos. It's how he got his name out there. He's worked with like huge names for like 80s pop rock bands. Then he's worked with, I just wrote down a list. He's like Paula Abdul, George Michael, Aerosmith, Billy Idol. And that's all before he like does Seven. You know, it's crazy like the catalog that he has in terms of music videos. This one's the best one though. And I think it is that part where it's super iconic. I think this is arguably Madonna's like second, maybe like it's like vying for her most famous music video. Like a Virgin, probably number
Yeah.
one, but like Vogue, that it's lit. We talk about like how it's aged and how it like lives on. Like Vogue, this captures that idea of like strike a pose, and it's like anyone can do it. It's like a really diverse cast that's a part of this music video, and they display like it's really high class, but like anyone, when they're really feeling it on the dance floor, is like just going to like slay it. Like anyone can slay on the dance floor. That type of concept, I think, has lasted to 2023 and has no signs of stopping. I think he captured that super well here, and it's super clean. The black and white you
Mm.
talked about, just the cultural impact just makes it deserved to be on this list. Um, yeah, I don't even know. Do you think it's a better video than song? A better song than video?
I think it's close both ways.
Yeah,
I
I
it's
think
pretty close.
it's I think it's super hard because like the line that you talked about, strike a pose, or just like everyone just like moving and saying Vogue, that is just the line that sticks out. But also Madonna looking like Marilyn Monroe is such an iconic type of
Right.
vision on the screen. So it's like they did go too much hand in hand to pick one over the other. But I think I lean the song, but it's tough. Um, oh, great dance song. Great dance song. I want to go to a lesser known one, if you don't mind me moving on. I want to talk PTA, and I want to talk about this. Probably isn't his most famous music video, but I love it and I love the song. That's why I'm choosing it. It's a song that we talked about, I want to say a year ago when She-Hulk came out. It made the only good part about that show is that it included this song from Haim called Now I'm In It. And this music video is awesome. Have you seen this, Ricky?
I haven't, but I love this song. We talked about how much we love this song.
So I'm fascinated by PTA directing music videos for Haim. I think he's done like 8 music videos for
A
them.
lot.
Maybe. And what's I don't know why. I think he likes the group that he works with. He likes the band, the Three Sisters. He had Alana Haim star in Licorice Pizza 2021. Obviously has an affinity for working with them in a lot. And this music video is set in LA, and a couple of their other videos are set in LA. PTA, what does he love? LA setting. You know, I think that goes hand in hand. But this one, it's this the sister who's working multiple jobs, has mental health issues, and she sees like her other 2 sisters like thriving, and they are basically famous pop stars, and she's still on the back burner. It's a great like story that's built within this music video on her sisters supporting her and lifting her up to like their level and sticking with her side by side. It's a great song that personifies like a girl band that is consistent of sisters, and it's just slick looking and has some great symbolism in it. I to me the song is just so re-listenable. You know, you could just it has the repeat button automatically for me. Story on Family, it's just to me great stuff. And I'm PTA's also done other LA videos, as I said before, with Haim that were potentially going to make the list, but it's just the strength of the song for me that really makes it stick out.
Yeah, I love this song. I definitely will have to check out the music video. I was just trying to pull it up now, but I couldn't get it right now before you were done there. But I think Haim's under the radar, and I think Licorice Pizza definitely has helped with Haim's like recent ascension. And I'm hoping PTA continues to work in with Haim as well, and kind of they keep getting better and better because they are under the radar great music group.
I want to know what the attraction is for him working with Haim aside from the LA setting and aside liking to work with them. Is there anything more to it? Does he view them as potentially like a muse? Is something where he wants to lift up these sisters? And like Alana Haim, is she going to have an aspiring movie career now? I just find their relationship really interesting because like why is PTA this like whenever he puts out a movie, it's like Oscar contention, and he's directing music videos regularly with Haim up to this day. To me, that is crazy, and it's great. Obviously, you get to see like the work of one of the greatest living directors in short form. It's awesome. Uh, Ricky Fox, honorable mentions. You got one or two?
I'll just mention one. I'll just mention another Fincher. For me, Suit and Tie. Justin Timberlake, JT. I love JT. One of my guys there in the music scene. Black and White, sharp. Again, Fincher, sharp. Always crisp, clean. Also black and white, like Vogue. Very cool. Very cool. When you see JT come out on stage, it's dead silent. Then he starts singing again. Great intro, and then Jay-Z on stage with Jay-Z. That's just like you don't really see that, you know. Awesome, very clean. Like I said, I love that music video. Won also the best music video of the year that year, 2014, I believe. So Fincher, another shout out for him.
It's like early 2010s, and that's when Fincher is firmly established as one of the best in the game, right? With also an Oscar contending type of resume, and he's doing music videos for Justin Timberlake. That's just to me, like they can't shake it. Like they just love working on music videos. And I'm just gonna throw another Fincher one out there. Freedom, George Michael. George Michael doesn't even appear in this video, but it's an iconic video, and it's kind of it's not the first George Michael video you think of. You obviously think of Faith and how stupid that music video is with him just shaking his ass with the USA like plastered all over him. But this one seemed like it had a lot more meaning to it. The idea of freedom and what George Michael was going through in like the early 90s, it kind of seems very fitting. And there's a lot of symbolism in this one where it's like the exploding guitar. He's free and he has a lot of like obviously choice like in his career, but also his sexuality, what's happening there. Super sexual video if you've ever seen the Freedom video. But it's like that feeling of it's very symbolic of George Michael feeling trapped and just being unleashed by like this video. So I thought it was also one of David Fincher's, I guess, more iconic ones. I think I would probably the one like maybe the second best known Fincher video, you know, maybe alongside Suit and Tie with recency bias and everything. But
Yeah,
did you have that one on your list?
I know it. I know it. I just then I'm on my list. I wanted to say something more recent because I think most of my list is from the 90s or earlier, or maybe my most recent one was 2001. So I wanted to say something just more recent, but I think that's more iconic. I guess I also just wanted to bring up this question. So there's another guy who I was thinking because he's done a lot of great music videos, and he recently got into the film industry more. Francis Lawrence. You know, he did Constantine for Keanu Reeves. Recently has done the Hunger Games franchise, but I don't really look at him as he is a movie director, but like his filmography is similar to Spike Jonze, where almost everything is a music video. So I didn't really want to pick him, but I just want honorable mention like a couple: Circus, Britney Spears, anything Britney, you know,
It's
anything
Britney, bitch.
exactly, and Bad Romance, awesome music video. That one's sick. So both of those was Francis Lawrence and the Beyonce song "Run the World," also Francis Lawrence. So like he's like an all-time music video director. He's much more well known for that versus filmmaking. So that's why I didn't want to pick one of those in like the list, but honorable mention because he is a filmmaker and very recent filmmaker.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I just had a couple other shout outs. Under the Bridge was Gus Van Sant. Not a great music video though. I just wanted to say Gus Van Sant is like obviously Goodwill Hunting. Under the Bridge, one of the greatest songs ever, and especially of the '90s. And it just, I don't know. To me, it just it was like a little psychedelic, and then it was almost felt like documentary going through LA. I just want to throw that one out there. Spike Lee directed an Eminem video. He did Headlights, which is really interesting.
Right.
That was like the perspective of it's like 8 Mile, but in the perspective of his mother, and then also sees the success that um, Marshall Mathers goes on to have. It's a kind of a heartbreaking video, and it's not a very good song, but it's a meaningful song. It's a heartbreaking one. But Spike Lee just deciding to work with Eminem, I think, is a big deal. And the Killers had a song. It's directed by Tim Burton. It's called "Here with Me," and super Tim Burton type of music video. I hate it, to be honest. It's really
It wasn't cool.
creepy. Winona Ryder it's like celebrity obsession type of song, and it says the weirdest ending of all time. I don't even want to talk
Yeah,
about it. It's
don't
just
like that
really,
video. Tim
really weird.
Burton, as we know from Nightmare Before Christmas, even though I will be watching that this week, not up my alley. Tim Burton, not the biggest fan, but I have a lot of respect for.
If you like Tim Burton, you'll like it. Just to me, it was super weird. Yeah, yeah. But that's our list, right? If you have any other ones, make sure that you message us, tweet at us, all right, and let it be known that we missed one or two. This is obviously a huge catalog to choose from, but we just picked our 10 best, right? Our 10 favorites that we wanted to make sure that you listen to or watch throughout the week here.